Hey guys, Gene here from the BSP Wrestling Show, here to bring you guys my WWE Smackdown Live review for April 25th, 2017. Right before I get into the review, I want to let you guys know that I've started up a Patreon. It's down in the description down below if you guys decide you want to, help make the show a little bit better. You can donate anything from $1 to $10 or whatever you see fit. But it's definitely appreciated if you guys decide you want to help, but it's not recommended. This show will still be the same thing. It's just there to, help out the quality of the show. Maybe me get a better mic, some better software, something like that. That's what would be the purpose of me having this Patreon. There's some pretty cool rewards there too if you guys want to check it out. But like I said, link in the description, patreon.com/BSP show, I believe is what it is. So you guys can check that out. So we got SmackDown Live tonight. We had a pretty interesting show. It obviously beat out Raw, but, it wasn't the greatest SmackDown either. So let's get into the review, though. So SmackDown Live kicked off with Shinsuke Nakamura. They're no longer calling him the King of Strong Style. They're calling him the artist known as. So they've dropped the Strong Style gimmick. So that's kind of weird. I don't know why they would do that, but they did it. So he comes out. And he's about to be interviewed by Renee Young, but Dolph Ziggler comes out and says, screw your interview. And then he, takes over and starts asking him questions. And he's like, so, what's going on with you, man? Like, what's up with you? Why are you, doing this thing? Who's your inspiration? Who's your favorite superstar? Just asking him a ton of questions. Then proceeded to put himself over. He's like, oh, you guys can't understand him because all he speaks is Japanese. Even though he was, about to talk in English. He's been working on his English. So Dolph was just making fun of him because of that. He was like, oh, he said I'm his biggest influence and all this other stuff and whatever. Just putting himself over. Then he compared him to Michael Jackson. He said, he grew up with the family in Gary, Indiana, and he turned out to be the star, but he fell off the wagon a little bit, put a Ferris wheel in his backyard, and became best friends with a monkey named Bubbles. And then he dipped up under cover and went to Japan under the alias Shinsuke Nakamura, which is translated as petty, overrated freak. And then Shinsuke takes the mic from Dolph and asks him what his problem is, and then, as he's going to answer it, he snatches the mic back and said he's going to translate it in Japanese. And then he pretty much just called him a jackass. And that's when Ziggler kicked him in the stomach. He went for a super kick, but Nakamura countered with the exploder suplex. And as he went for the Kinshasa, Ziggler got up out the ring. So I'm sure these two are going to fight at Backlash. This will be a good match for Shinsuke to introduce himself to the SmackDown Live crowd. I don't know if they're going to have him have an enhancement match over the next couple of weeks, but they're really, really protecting him. They're letting him speak a little bit, but it's only in variations. They're not letting him speak a ton. So that's fine. Ziggler's a good worker, so I feel like they'll have a nice match. Then we get a rematch from last week, which kind of seemed to be the theme a little bit here. We got AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. Like I said, we seen this match last week. It was still pretty good. Corbin looking dominant as usual, and AJ selling for him and making him look phenomenal. No pun intended. Actually, yeah, pun intended. Kevin Owens was on commentary again, just like last week. But yeah, we had a pretty solid match here. Corbin went for a superplex from the top rope. AJ slipped out of it and knocked Corbin into the top rope and then hit the Pele kick. Styles transitioned into a counter and then went for the calf crusher, but was unable to do it as Corbin completely blocked it and wouldn't let him lock it in. Then AJ set up for the phenomenal forearm, but he was distracted a little bit by Kevin Owens, who got off the commentary table to come over to him and distract him. So then AJ, kicked him in the chest or whatever, and then as he went for the phenomenal forearm again, Corbin ducked. He flew over him, but he was still able to roll up Corbin for the win. Then after the match, Corbin and Owens double-teamed AJ, and so Sami Zayn came out. He hit a haluva kick on Baron Corbin, but Owens got back into the ring, threw Sami out the ring, and hit a pop-up powerbomb on AJ Styles. So it's pretty clear that AJ is going to, face Owens for the title after Owens beats Jericho at Payback this Sunday, because I hope you guys don't think Chris Jericho's winning. I did at first, but then I found out he was leaving for a while, so yeah, and basically with the way they positioned this superstar shakeup, the writing is just on the wall for most of these matches. We had an interview with Charlotte backstage. She talked about her upcoming championship match in the main event. She said gold runs through her veins, and she's had the women's championship 4 different times, and now she needs a new kingdom on SmackDown Live because she did everything she needed to do on Monday Night Raw. She's on her way to her 5th title reign, and she's going to prove to everyone what they already know, that she's the greatest superstar of all time. Then we get something interesting. We've seen Beat the Clock challenges before, but this one was different. This one was a tag team version. I don't think we've ever seen a tag team version of the Beat the Clock challenge. Pretty much how it works is, well, with this one, it was 4 teams. The first 2 teams start off in the match, and they set the tone for the whole thing. They set the time. Whatever time it takes them to beat whatever team, that's the time that the second 2 teams have to beat in order to become the number 1 contenders for the tag team championship. They did a good job explaining it too, because if they just had them do it, it would have been kind of confusing. But they did explain what was going to happen, and they explained it would be 4 teams. So the first match we got is American Alpha versus the Clones. No longer the Shining Stars, the Clones. I like that. I like that they're no longer the Shining Stars. They're not out there with pamphlets trying to get people to come to Puerto Rico, the Shining Star of the Caribbean. They're not doing that no more. They're just serious now. They're just the Clones. This is who they are. American Alpha wanted to end the match quickly, of course. Frequent tags, quick pins. And they were in complete control until the Clones took over. And what I said last week was a more aggressive style than they've had before. They look legit, finally. Even though they didn't win this match, they look legit. They don't look like a bunch of jobbers out there. They look like they know what they're doing. Except American Alpha countered their finishing move, which is like that power bomb backbreaker or backstabber, and they hit Grand Amplitude out of nowhere to pick up the win in 5 minutes and 17 seconds. So the second 2 teams that would have to beat that time is either the Ascension or Breezango, who will have their match later on in the night. Rusev responds to the Superstar Shakeup. He says he doesn't like Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon. He doesn't agree with the Superstar Shakeup either. He doesn't want to be on SmackDown, and the only way he's going to wrestle on SmackDown is if he has a championship match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Otherwise, he'll pack his bags and go back to Bulgaria. So Rusev is apparently not happy that he was moved from Raw to SmackDown Live. But we'll see what happens. What happens from there, because he said he doesn't like Shane and Daniel Bryan. What have they done to him? They haven't done anything to him. I just don't know why he doesn't like them. So we'll see what story they're going to go with for that. And he's demanding he gets a championship match at Money in the Bank. So after that, we got a Becky Lynch interview. She says her and Charlotte have a complex relationship. And, you know, she's not really mad at you know, her getting opportunities. She's kind of weird, you know, skeptical about the way she did it, but she does appreciate her results that she's actually getting since coming over to SmackDown. You know, they're actually, you know, really good friends, parts of the 4 horsewomen from NXT, her, Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte, of course. So, you know, they've had that friendship, but it's just kind of weird. She doesn't really know what side to stand on. So we had Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina approach her, and they want to know where she stands as well. They said she's either with them or against them, so choose wisely. So I'm going to talk about the main event, because we all saw what happened in the main event. I'll talk about that in a minute, and then I'll give my thoughts on this whole thing with Becky Lynch and Charlotte in a little bit, because I see something happening that I don't really agree with. But we'll talk about it. Next, we get Randy Orton versus Eric Rowan in a no disqualification match. Of course, this match made sense because Randy's facing Bray. Even though, like, I put out a video earlier. It'll be linked in the description. You guys can go check that out. You know, about Randy and Bray's match at Payback this Sunday and how it just doesn't make sense booking-wise anymore. It started off great, but now it's just completely confusing and hard to follow, and so many things are changing and whatever. So we get this match with Eric Rowan, who is, I guess, still on the Wyatts. When it's on his entrance, they have the little side panel on SmackDown and with the little facts about, you know, each wrestler, like they used to do back in the day. And they said, you know, member of the Wyatt family. So I guess he's still a part of the Wyatts. They're just on different shows. So I guess he's going to try to hold it down for Bray while they're apart, which I don't see happening. So, you know, we had a alright match, I guess. really didn't pay no attention to it, to be honest. I saw Eric Rowan went for a kendo stick to introduce a weapon into the match, because like I said, no disqualifications. Then there was a table set up on the outside of the ring, and Rowan was on the apron trying to suplex Randy to the outside, but Randy countered it and hit him with the kendo stick a few times before ultimately using it to push Rowan off the apron into the table. They kind of fought outside the ring a lot by the announcer's table. They didn't really go through the crowd or anything like that. But getting back into the ring after they fought by the commentary table, Randy did the between the ropes DDT he goes for, then went for an RKO, but he got countered, and they slipped out to the ring, to the outside again, and Randy wound up getting hit by the steel steps. Eric Rowan then wedged the steel chair into between the top and middle ropes inside the ring, and went to go throw Randy into that, but winded up getting countered, and he fell victim to an RKO after he hit the chair, and Randy Orton wins the match. No surprise there. Didn't expect Randy to lose. I guess this is a small test for him, considering he's going into this House of Horrors match. So after the match was over, Randy grabbed the mic and said one more time he doesn't know what a House of Horrors match is, but he feels like he's going to find out on Sunday. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. Bray told him on Raw that it would be his purgatory, but nothing could be further from the truth. Instead, it will be Bray's eternal hell. And that's when Hardbody Mahal came out. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's see. He had a nice little suit on and everything. He tells Randy how dare he overlook him and disrespect him, because Randy this whole time has just been talking about Bray Wyatt. He hasn't really addressed Jinder Mahal yet since he became #1 contender. He said Randy should be more worried about him than Bray Wyatt. He has more wealth, talent, class, or culture than anyone in the arena, including Randy. He says Randy disrespects him because he looks different and because of his arrogance and lack of tolerance. But at Backlash, he will take back his respect. He'll take the glory of the World Championship to his people. And then he said something in Punjabi and then went to attack Randy Orton. But of course, Randy saw that coming and tried to set him up for the Between the Ropes DDT. But the Bollywood Boys came out, or the Singh Brothers as they're being coined now, and they were able to team up and take down Randy Orton. And then this man, Jinder Mahal, after he dropped him with like that half Nelson slam he does, or whatever the hell he calls it, he took the title from Randy Orton. Like, he physically took the title. Like, he just grabbed the WWE Championship and walked away. They showed a cutscene, as you guys can see from my thumbnail, because I'm pretty sure that's what I used. This man, Jinder Mahal, stole the WWE Championship, and they ran and got into this nice little limo, and they drove away. So, Jinder has possession of the title, which ultimately tells me that Randy isn't going to have it when he has the House of Horrors match with Bray. Which kind of makes sense. I can agree with that. It makes sense, because if the match isn't for the title, then Randy doesn't need to have the title with him per se. If they're not going to have the title defended, there's no point in him having the title for this, type of match or whatever the hell they're doing with this House of Horrors. So yeah, Jinder Mahal took the title and he bounced. Him and the Singh brothers, they bounced. So this is interesting. He cut a nice promo, and he's getting good heel heat. I like what they're doing. They're trying to build him up some, and he's feeling like he's being disrespected by the champion because the champion isn't considering him a threat. So he's going to get Randy Orton's attention by any means necessary, and I like that. That's fine. Let's see where it goes. SmackDown Live has a way of telling stories a certain way and doing things the right way, instead of on Raw where things just get misconstrued and a lot of things just doesn't make sense. So we'll see. Maybe this move to SmackDown was the best thing for Jinder Mahal. We'll see. I like that they're building new stars. We always complain that we want new stars being built, but then when they go to build new stars, we never appreciate who they're trying to build. So we'll see. I'll give it a chance. We got the second match and final match in the Beat the Clock Challenge. With a time to beat of 5 minutes and 17 seconds, we got Breezango versus the Ascension. This match didn't go long. This man, Victor, went full Cesaro mode in the beginning of this match. The bell rung, and I literally saw him take off and hit a flying uppercut. The Ascension were dominant for 99% of this match because, of course, they wanted and had to end the match quickly if they wanted to be #1 contenders. But Breezango came back, hit a super kick into a Falcon's Arrow, and they picked up the win. They won the match in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. In enough time to become the new #1 contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I also think this was a face turn because of how the crowd gave them that reaction. They were genuinely happy that this team won, and they were, playing towards the crowd. They were like, "Oh my God, are we gonna win the titles? We're finally gonna win." I think what's his name? Fandango was like leaning against the crowd and celebrating and everything. So I'm pretty sure they're face now, especially if they're going against the Usos. They're gonna have to be face because the Usos are heels. So that's cool. My God, Tyler Breeze finally getting a title shot, man. Finally. Jeez, man, I thought they were just going to completely drop the ball with him and never give him a title shot. I know he's probably not going to win. If they do, I'll be surprised, but I won't be mad. I mean, I love the Usos. I think they should stay champions for a while, but I won't even be mad if they actually lose the titles to Breezango. Who knows? We'll see. But they're finally giving Tyler Breeze and Fandango a chance. I think this is Fandango's first title opportunity as well. Ever since he beat Jericho at WrestleMania, he hasn't really done anything, so I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're trying to build up new tag teams and make them look more legit, so I appreciate that aspect of SmackDown Live. So we'll see. We'll see how good that match is. Give them some time. I'm sure they can work, especially with the Usos. The Usos are great, and Tyler Breeze and Fandango are good workers, aside from their gimmick. They're pretty good workers, so I'm excited to see that. Naomi had an interview right before her championship match with Charlotte. She said that Charlotte has been a standout since she came to the WWE, and she actually beat her fair and square last week. But where she's from, you have to be at the top before you go around running your mouth. And from where she's standing, she's Ali, and Charlotte is George Foreman. So that makes Naomi, I guess, have the advantage or whatever, and she's about to make her feel the glow. Blah blah blah. That's when we get the main event. For the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, we get Naomi versus Charlotte. Pretty competitive contest. I'm glad this was in the main event so they can make the women feel as important as they are. Charlotte looked dominant, of course, looking like the champion that she actually is. Early on in the match, she had the advantage. Naomi came back, of course, with her athleticism and just her agility in the ring. She's just one of the most agile females in the WWE, and she just moves so fluently and so smoothly throughout the ring. Is just incredible. So this made for a good matchup, but the match got ruined. They were doing some pretty good stuff here. I think Charlotte countered like a Hurricane Rana and put Naomi, like, lifted her back up and power bombed her and like did a sit out power bomb. That was pretty crazy. Charlotte went to the top rope for that patented moonsault that she does, and she missed, and they were just going at it. You could just feel the finish coming, and they were doing good. But the match, like I said, got interrupted when Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina came in and interrupted and interfered and took out both Naomi and Charlotte, ending the match via DQ. And they were more so targeting Charlotte than Naomi, but Naomi was there, so they had to get her out the way because she was trying to defend Charlotte at the same time. So they fell victim to the attack by these three, and they stood tall at the end. I think Tamina and Carmella super kicked Charlotte, and that's what brings me to my point I was talking about earlier. I don't know if they're turning Charlotte face or not. I feel like they are. I don't know how I feel about that yet, because Charlotte's like the top heel woman in the WWE. So I don't know if turning her face right now would be a good thing. We'll see. We'll see if it turns out to be a good thing. But like I said, I don't really know. She's better as a heel. They tried to do her as a face, but that didn't really work out too well. But who knows? Maybe since she's done everything that she's done as a heel, maybe she's ready to become a face. So only time will tell how it'll work out for her. We'll see though, because like I said, with the whole Becky Lynch thing, it's either they're turning Charlotte face or turning Becky heel. I'd love to see heel Becky. I feel like she'll add even more aggression than what she already has. But it just seems like they're going to turn Charlotte face because they have three heels. Well, and James Ellsworth, he's there, of course, doing nothing. But they have three heels attacking Charlotte. She's been the grunt of their attack since she came to SmackDown Live because she got a women's championship opportunity. And then it's like they call themselves the Welcoming Committee, and then my boy Stephen A on Twitter, not Stephen A Smith, but my boy Stephen A on Twitter just brought this point up to me before I recorded this. He was like, wait a minute. Tamina just came to SmackDown Live. Why is she part of the Welcoming Committee? She just came back after being gone for 2 years, and now she's part of the Welcoming Committee. Like she's been on SmackDown for just since the whole draft happened, like Carmella and Natalya were. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Why is she part of the Welcoming Committee when she's just now coming to SmackDown as well? It didn't really make any sense. But it seems like they're trying to build up sympathy for Charlotte as if they're going to turn her face. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I would prefer her to be heel, but I don't know. With her, you know, her character, her charisma, her talent, I can see her working out as a face. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But it's just very, very strange. You have 3 heels attacking another heel. You don't really see that too often in WWE. But I'm going to let the story progress, and then I'll go from there, and I'll judge it based off of what actually happens. But I'm just calling what I think is going to happen right now. I'm going to call that Charlotte is going to become a face. I feel like that's what's happening. That's what it seems like they're setting up. But we'll see. With SmackDown Live, like I said, they make a lot of things work, so maybe it'll be for the best. I don't know. But that was the end of SmackDown Live. It always seems like this show just breezes on through, and even if it's just a pretty average show, it's not terrible because it's only 2 hours. So, hey, you know, you get whatever they put out, and that's pretty much it. But let me know what you guys thought of SmackDown Live down in the comment section down below. Slap a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. We're still building up. We're getting close to 300 subscribers. Man, this is crazy. I never thought I would ever have 100, let alone 200 subscribers. I think I'm at 237. So once again, like I always do, I want to thank you guys all for supporting me and for believing in me. We're going to keep this thing going. My confidence is at an all-time high. I'm going to keep on doing things, keep on evolving, and make this YouTube channel one of the best ones out there. So you guys can mark my words with that. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, I got to do my payback predictions video. So look out for that coming this week. Maybe tomorrow. If I have enough time, I'll do it tomorrow. If not, I'll do it Thursday. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.